I did it again. I couldn't resist and I bought another project car. Well, it wasn't supposed to be a project car, it was supposed to be something I could just get into and drive, but it didn't turn out that way. Do you guys have a car that every single time you get into it to take it for a spin, something goes wrong, something breaks? It doesn't have to be a major thing, but it's always something that requires fixing before you can really take it out for another spin again. It's not something you can just ignore. That's what this car is for me. So I've always wanted a 1200 Coupe, and that's what I got. This one has a few good bits and pieces in it, but as we sort of go through all the good bits that have been added, we can also talk about how they're not configured or working the right way, and it seems like someone just sort of threw a catalogue of new parts at it. I'm not sure who put it together, but the way they put it together has been far from perfect. So it turned out to be a car that needs more work than I initially anticipated. The good parts are, it's a coupe. It's got a built L18 that's really strong and has, after recent work to the Webers and tuning, makes 120 horsepower at the rear wheels. It has a 5-speed gearbox. It has obviously a custom drive shaft. It has an R31 rear diff with an LSD and R31 rear calipers. So it's got all the good bits. It's essentially got a lot of the good bits that I have put into my Ute, apart from the SR20 motor. So what went wrong? The rear R31 Skyline calipers seized, so I had to have them rebuilt and reinstall them. This happened almost immediately after parking the car for like a week. The rear shocks were way too short and compressed, so I needed to get new ones. The master cylinder was set up incorrectly, so the pedal for the brake would sit really low and was very spongy, whereas the clutch pedal was sitting very proud. So I needed to switch that out and put in a new one so that the brake pedal sat correctly and in line with the clutch. Then the bushes that came supplied with the new shocks didn't fit onto the plates to bolt them on, so I needed to get slightly shorter ones. The seat belts were shit because they didn't retract, so I got some nice new retractable ones from Datsun. It idled high and chewed through fuel, so I got the Webers rebuilt and tuned. I didn't like the silly bonnet scoop, so I had to find another bonnet. The battery earth was burnt, so I had to replace that. I didn't like the wheels, so I replaced them with my green Advans with fatter tyres, but they scrubbed at the front and the back. So I rolled the guards and that solved the back, but the driver's side front still scrubbed when it turned. I went for a set of 185/55 tyres at the front, which solved the scrubbing finally, but they messed up the wheel alignment massively, and driving it in the wet was like driving with one front tyre at any one time. I finally fixed the wheel alignment, went on a big cruise out to Penrith Cars and Coffee, and wouldn't you know it, something went wrong. Maybe not the best view, but let's see how it goes. That's a bit of a backfire. I've been doing it for a week or so. Then I ran out, sort of coming onto the on-ramp, there was a long run on there. So the engine itself is very strong, it's good. Now that I got the brake fixed, the pedal doesn't fucking sit all the way down into the floor. It's like the same height and, you know, obviously more pressure, but in a good way than the clutch. Whereas before it was like, it felt like a sponge and it was sitting always at the floor. like to give it an Italian tune-up around here, but so yeah, the gearbox and engine is really good. The diff being a R31 diff, short and narrowed, whatever you want to call it, and with an LSD in it, it's good too. The handbrake setup seems to be a good one. I think it's similar to the Mad Dat one. It's got the this motor is down low, and I guess because it's a small car, there's so much torque, and then when you get into the meat of the rev range with the cam, it just takes off even further. That's why you run out of road before you get a chance to really get into the rev range, because it's got plenty of torque down low, and then when it hits the revs harder, and you're really pulling at that point, you're just pumping heaps of horsepower into the rear end, and it's just going. So whatever road you're on, unless you've got a low runoff, you're fucking hitting like 5.5 or 6, and you've really got to brake before that anyway. I think by the sounds of it, there might be a loose or broken exhaust pipe mount, so I'm going to have to check that. But yeah, it does love a backfire. So initially I wanted to create a lightweight, stripped down racer type road car. Two really good examples for inspiration are the 1973 Alfa Romeo GTV by Dino Motorsport and the Honey Badger BMW 2002. But after pulling my ute back from Canberra the other day, it got me thinking, why don't I put all the stuff from the ute into the coupe? I was going to initially keep the L18 and just fuel inject it, but the SR in it might be better. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm not sure I'm going to go ahead with it, but I am strongly feeling that is the go. And I think the coupe with that engine and ITBs and bigger cams and a tune, stripped down interior, get these bulky leather seats out and get some nice race buckets, and just maybe if there's some carbon fiber parts. I've seen a few out there, but not heap. So that might spell the demise of the ute. It opens 2 other projects, so I'm not disappointed. This one, the coupe with the SR in it, and then the L18 to go into the B310, which I think will be a 6 swap. It's such a good engine, I really don't want to let it go. So the A15, while it's also a good engine, it is stock. It can go and make room for this engine, which has had, everything done to it, and it's bigger and better. So why not? Anyway, catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.